And now you've got, I mean, that also is a concern, right? Because you've still got some big names to worry about in this group.
LGD in particular, the currently 4-0 team, 5-0 team. Execution. Sure.
Yeah, you've got LGD.Forever Young in Group B, 4-0. GD in Group A, 4-0. Ruru, 8-0. She's got the best record at the international right
That's
now.
true, 100%. When you have two teams and you remain at 100%, that is super impressive.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't
Very
think so, actually. Like, that's actually
5 seconds
a true
remaining.
statement.
By the way,
Anyways,
that is like a must-have for the chat wheel line.
LG's turn to pick.
I don't think he said it during a team.
Oh, really?
Sure.
Shaker first pick. The Lich meta has a new challenger.
Team Liquid to me seems to be a team that isn't particularly caring too much about
5
what other
seconds
teams are
remaining.
doing. Like, I don't think they're gonna copy other people's strategy. I feel like they're very comfortable executing their own, and they're not gonna pick Lich because everyone is picking it. They'll be prepared for it, that's for sure. And I think the other thing is that Lich is not a very Curl-esque type hero where he's looking to actively like kill buildings. He's not looking to defend his own. You know,
The best defense is a good
Right.
offense.
He loves
a wise
heroes-
general once said.
like Shadow Shamans or Visage, that's punching buildings in.
Bat Rider reply from you. You've got a follow-up pick available. Historically, love their Sand King. They love Puck. Band. Seen Rubik picked a lot in the past against Earthshaker just because Fissure's such an amazing. Is there anything that jumps out at you as like?
Last game they picked an Elder Titan in this spot, right? And honestly, Elder Titan did a lot given what he was up against. I mean, if they go ET here, I wouldn't like. I think it's a fine pick. It's more of like what EG's got, what they're thinking about in terms of overall playstyle. I'm gonna go back for the ET.
I think they like this opening because it doesn't really reveal too much about anything. I guess you know Elder Titans. That's really about it. Bat can be off lane, you know, Bat probably not going to be mid, but I wouldn't entirely rule it out, especially if they want to like put else. So I think it's still a slightly flexible pick, and it doesn't tell you much about the overall game plan, even if you know who's playing.
It also makes your lane super flexible as well. We saw Elder Titan and Bat Rider beating up on a Lycan last game, but let's say if it's a different hero. Bat could go into the jungle, ET could just roam into the mid lane instead. So you're not just married to this one particular laning strategy. So early on in the draft, you want to keep your lanes, you know, somewhat open. You want to keep them guessing, and you want the ability to react. And this 2-start is the ability, like you have the ability to react. Is this the exact same draft so far we've seen?
I think so, except
I think MP came a little bit later.
the Shaker wasn't. EG was first pick.
10 seconds remaining.
We are getting old. We can't even remember what happened an hour ago.
I have not had enough.
Okay. I have no excuse. I'm drinking tea as we're casting right now.
Very Lumia. I mean, I think that's what we see out of both of these teams is they just like these flex picks. They like leaving the laning options open. They like not committing to something too early. Nature's Prophet is another hero that fits in that mold. Yeah, you probably expect his mind control on the NP and the off lane. Have to be. They could run a safe lane, or, you know, Tumba Man in some sort of dual or offensive tri-lane.
Oh, they had Visage second.
But still, a lot of the same faces. Yeah.
I do want to mention Wyvern. We saw Crit pick it up for himself last game. A lot of the European teams have been kind of really respecting the hero. We see Liquid picking up relatively early. Secret's been playing it. EG's been playing it a lot. I wonder if it's a thing where the European teams scrimmed against each other and they all kind of simultaneously came to the conclusion that Wyvern is a very good pick given the situation. It's definitely a hero that I think we'll keep seeing for the remainder of this TI.
Don't you still feel he's like more of a situational counter
Oh, for
pick
sure.
type hero? He's
Yeah.
not like, oh, what's a strong hero that I want to take first base? Let me just grab a Wyvern. You know?
He's not a Sand King or a Shaker. Like
Yeah.
he's more of like, hey, they're running
I agree.
80 billion summons. Let's make up Wyvern.
I think he's someone that you slot into a draft as a response, or if he fits else you've already picked super well, but you don't go into a game thinking, yeah, like Wyvern would be here, no matter what.
10
Sure.
seconds liquids. Turn to pick Mirana.
So I do want to point out, they left that... Oh wait, never mind. EG actually banned them. Like, I looked at Liquid's bans, I'm like, they didn't ban Storm, and I'm like, oh, EG, surely they're going to want that Storm. EG actually.
So is this your Sumail Mirana?
10 seconds remaining.
Or is this...
Yeah, I would guess so. I mean, I think we've seen a handful of Sopranos, but kind of questionable.
Then I'm fully 100% expecting Crit's Bane coming out. He loves playing Bane. I think, to be honest, one of the underutilized support heroes that is just like got stopped picking. It sets up Echo Stomp this game. It sets up Arrow this game. Very good brawler early on. You could like walk into MP's lane and start trading hits with them, no problem, because you get good brain tap.
Brawler is definitely a good word to describe Bane. So to Elder Titan's also great at that. That would give G really strong lanes.
We'll see though. Maybe
So for Liquid, you know, they love the Matumba Man Lone Druid historically. Lycan, obviously, they picked last game. We saw the Broodmother. I don't think feels that great here with the Mirana Elder Titan Bat, but you know, we'll see what these last two picks are. Obviously, there's the Miracle Invoker,
all right.
just lurking always.
Gonna be Curl's hero.
Yeah, good call. It's Kuro definitely likes having that pushing.
I don't think there needs to be a lot of discussion on Shadow Shaman as a hero. I think in particular by picking him up here, you kind of force the Elder Titan to be on the bottom lane with the Bat Rider. Because Bat Rider by himself, you get shackled, and a lot of bad things could happen to you, depending on what the carry is. Could be like a Gyro with Rocket Barrage, could be a Juggernaut with Spin. So by picking up Shadow Shaman, it does limit what Zai could do in terms of rotation.
There's the Wyvern again. Not quite the same draft, but Wyvern, Titan, Bat Rider.
10 seconds
This
remaining.
is where you start to question your sound. Like, this is so
5
similar,
seconds remaining.
slightly different.
So you were just, you know, pointing out that Wyvern is more or less a situational pick, and I'm just not sure whether he is good in this particular situation.
Yeah, what does the Wyvern offer you this game? He's not, he's okay at sniping the wards, I guess, because of the range, but the Curse doesn't feel that good yet. You've got two ranged heroes. There's no sign of like that big melee hero that you have to lock down. But
And I don't think the Cold Embrace save is that good either. Like, there's so much magic damage that it's possible coming out from.
it's definitely not a game where it's like, oh yeah, Wyvern really counters their draft, but
Yeah.
we'll see what Liquid pick if it. Obviously, there's some potential synergy just within the draft where Stomp can set up for a Curse or vice versa. They have a lot of AoE damage, so a big team fight potential. I'm with you that
Turn to down.
I'm not sure if the Wyvern an obvious synergy.
Okay. Talk about the lack of synergy. Faceless Void comes in here for a team that doesn't have a ton of things to throw into the Chronosphere. I guess you could put the wards outside of the Chrono and have them hit in.
Yeah, I remember in the old days, you used to be able to drop, the wards would still attack inside of Chronos. You could actually really abuse it. Now you've got to be careful. So they'll definitely want someone to dump a little extra damage in their last pick. You've got,
Immediate Invoker ban, because that is the damage.
so
10
what's in the
seconds remaining.
Lina is pretty good. Good against Wyvern too with all the nuke damage.
5
Sure.
seconds
I
remaining.
like Lina quite a bit.
Also lanes reasonably well against
Turn
Mirage.
to pick.
Anyone else who's a better Miracle type.
OD is not that bad.
Yeah, I'd say it's no.
Okay.
All right, so this is great at countering the Batrider initiation. Interrupt that combo. Helps you ensure that the Wyvern can't counter the Chrono. There's a core that can scale pretty hard. If he
There's just no
gets the
switching here, right?
space.
Like, we're not going to get suddenly a mid-miracle shaker. He has played it, I believe, in the Shanghai Invitational.
Depends what EG's mid is. Generally, the mid shaker does a lot better against melee heroes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, like, Shaker Face's voice just not a combo, really.
Miracle Shadow Shaman. Old, like, no-tail mid.
I think it's just a silencer. But
That used to be a big thing in Heroes. Polywog Pre. That was his.
are you not afraid of getting fired at all? Just talking some game. Maybe you'll get magically deported despite having a U.S.
I'll get
passport.
deported?
Yeah.
I'll get deported for mentioning Han? Suddenly Valve is also...
Give TSA a call. Sir, we got a suspicious figure here.
I don't think you even know what TSA does. TSA does not have the right to deport.
TSA touches me a lot when I go to the airport and talk to me.
Lumi, you were not hired for your immigration expertise.
Neither is Bulldog, so we're all... Alright, we got the Lone Druid final pick. So this is going to be the R-Tour. The RTC. LD, I'm going to need you to focus here.
Maybe you should have made that comment then. But all right, here we go. Yeah, Arteezy on the Lone Druid. Lone Druid last pick. How do you feel the Lone Druid like fits into the overall game plan here?
I think Lone Druid very good against Kuro's hero. Like very little that Shadow Shaman could do. Puts a lot of pressure on Miracle as well, and could help his ally or himself with the bear able to proc off that Savage Roar to, let's say, save somebody when they get Chrono and stuff like that. It is very awkward in terms of how he'll have to play it. But overall, I think he's going to lane much better against the Nature's Prophet. Remember last game, he just lost the 1v1 against Pro's Prophet. I think this game, he's actually going to have the advantage lane.
Okay. See if that turns out the case. Liquid do smoke immediately out of the fountain to EG. The teams are going to... So as far as our laning setup goes, it will be the mid. Be a safe lane Lone Druid. Sometimes we see the male Rana there. So as far as laning setup goes, completely standard from EG and what you would expect. Looks like the same for Liquid. No shenanigans here, no void mid or tri-lane mid, just straight up classic Dota.
I wonder what Miracle's skill build will be this when the Chinese silencers go mid, like your SCCC, or maybe they love to actually max the curse, as it does very nicely in kind of your standard 2v2 mid situation. Curse just gives you so much more damage. The slow allows you to get off a couple more right clicks. But I've never seen Miracle go mid with this hero, so we shall sit here and learn in a bit.
Learning with
Learning not to what to do with. We're learning either way, so it's fine.
life is learning.
There you go. I'm just trying to, like, you know, absolve myself of this situation, but you just like
I'm
Lumi.
just hammering it home.
Yeah.
Gotta...
Thank you.
Goes EG. Lane for the off lane. Heading there. Gonna be the Shaker starting off to help a bit mid. Liquid assembling the tri-lane initially. Bottom. He's actually carrying a TP guard.
Who is? Sorry?
Kuroki on the
Okay.
Shadow Shaman. Expecting this 1v1 matchup.
All right.
Without shit on the bear, but wants to get one soon. I can't recall last time I've seen RT.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Like when when he used to be on EG and they did pick it, like Fear always
Yes,
played it.
exactly.
So, I mean, he is kind of in the Fear role now.
It's also a very different role because Arteezy lately has been playing things like Veno and Razor, right? Somebody that doesn't eat up a lot of farm. I think this is a departure to that. Like going back to his original, hey, I'm gonna put the whole team on my shoulder and 1v5 carry. I think Lone Drew is more of that hero.
Yeah, hopefully not 1v5. I mean, you have a Mirana mid. Pretty decent scaling core. They're trying to dual lane against Miracle, at least initially. It's not working out so hot. Already 5-1, even with the Mirana bullying crit out of the lane. Nice thing about Sansu. Very high damage output mid. Pretty good at lane control.
And this is where, if he has Curse, I think will help him lane a little bit better. The last word is decent against Numel, but I don't think he's short on regen. Like, he's gonna just eat the Curse and salve up or whatever.
You know, one adjustment about this Liquid lineup, I think where the Void is really good, is that they're not going to get completely demolished by the Batrider offlane like we saw last game. Void might get bullied slightly, but GH duking out here in the river, taking some heavy punishment. Let's have the boots, though. Should be able to take it away. Zai still chasing him, though. Gets that one extra punch. Kuro's coming in. Wants the bounty rune, and Zai is going to snag it, as well as force the Shaker on his heels. So, big win for...
Yeah, going back to your point about the offlane, not only is the Void a little bit more durable compared to the Lycan, he also has a better support, right? Remember Visage was the support last game for Matumba Man, and you know, Kuro wasn't able to do too much of anything. But Shaman in particular could just shackle, and Universe's effectiveness will get limited pretty hard.
For now, some small adjustments to the lanes here and there, but Zai does come back to the bottom. Shackles off. They're going to try to make their move on Mr. Zai. Still only level 1, and he might be the first blood. Indeed, he will be. Good, the committed 3-hero jump, and the point in Shackles, perhaps unexpected. Really, you do see the Shaman.
I think there's
could get the kill.
I think there's a debate now in terms of what you get level 1. I've been seeing actually more Shackles. It depends on what your safe lane carry is, right? Like if you have a Gyro or a Juggernaut, then the Shackle makes a lot more sense. But you're right, like he's been holding a skill point for such a long time that it wasn't clear what he actually got.
It's gonna go in again, and there's no way to break that shackle with this dual lane. A big weakness that Kuroki has managed to exploit. Zai gets off a beautiful 3-hero stomp at the time walk forward. One more auto attack, it's not enough. He lives at 4 HP.
Wait, CH or GH?
Oh, give up the totem, give up the totem. What was the range of that thing?
That was a Monkey King attack range. And now Kuro ports out. That early teleport score.
That looked like Tiny with the Ags upgrade. What the hell was that?
It is a totem. Got them range.
Say it like that.
Learning with Lumi.
Learning English with Lumi. Boy, that would be a great series. Got them range. Let's start with that little phrase right there.
Yeah.
That might actually take longer than all of the internationals back to back.
Oh boy. You know how this year Miracle in the mid lane gets picked off. You know how this year Valve started to do like the classic games, which I really appreciate that. I just hope that whatever we got going on right now would never make it into the classic game. 10 years from now, somebody watches this game again. They'd be like, what the hell is this guy saying?
Well, you just got to make sure the jokes age well, you know?
Okay.
Like, it's got to be like a fine wine. You don't want to be referencing like this year's Transformers movie.
Universe? And get picked up on the bottom side.
Yeah, and they're doing it pre-chrono. I mean, I mentioned like they're not going to get run over by the bat, but in fact, they're dominating. In the mid lane, they're trying to set up a miracle here. The Stomp will connect. Kuro wants to go. Arrow comes through, it will connect, but Kuro's there with the interrupt. He gets the shackles off with the Hex. They're diving this tower. They're tanking this tower. Numel's going to go down. Kuro once more. He probably pays with his life. But 2 for 1, but in goes GH. The tower is not cooperating. In fact, GH has to be careful. They might try to go on him too. Fissure, timed, but not placed. Just, right? Be able to retreat. Crit's just going to chill and wait it out.
EG won the kind of the numerical side of things. It was a 2 for 1. GH just walks in here right onto crit. But the fact that they killed the Mirana first, you could make the argument that, you know, it's Radiant getting experience, killing the more important hero. It wasn't all bad for Liquid.
One big thing you mentioned, Lumi, in the draft, and it certainly has been the case thus far, like Mind Control is not going to crush Arteezy. In fact, Arteezy is crushing Mind Control now when it comes to CS at least. He's 21 CS up. Granted, probably a few of those are treants, but still winning his lane pretty handily, and also keeping the Nature's Prophet locked here. If he leaves the lane to go gank, then all of a sudden the tower gets pressure.
Look at the level disparity, not just talk about farm. That's a level 5 Nature's Prophet to a level 7 Arteezy. Savage Roar?
Here goes the Shackles, the counterplay from Zai with the stomp, and now
roots?
Kuro on the run.
Nope.
Still good rotation by Zai, keeping his carry alive.
I wonder in a scenario like this where you're expected to 1v1 for so long, whether it's good to upgrade your boots to phase boots. It's really not done anymore on the Spearbur, and Arteezy deems it not important to do so in this game. But I imagine he would be dumpstering even harder on the Prophet if he had it.
GH getting slowed down here by Crit. Pursue this any further. A lot of movement from both teams, mostly centered around the middle lane it seems, but so far not all that many kills. Certainly had higher here on day one. As we look away from the laning stage more towards the mid game, we're going to see Matoma getting harassed a bit here by Universe. Can time walk off that damage, should be okay. What's the... Oh, Chrono. All right, Chrono 1, go for the other. That's something fresh, but Matoma just wanted the move speed, and seems move speed's all he needed in the end to get the Wyvern kill.
I think the game plan for Liquid is to use their long cooldown ultimate, your global, your Chronosphere, to set up a kill, and then use your Rastas and your Prophets to kind of get objective after it. Ooh, Fairy Fire.
Gonna descend on the mid lane on Sumail. Fissure comes through, and Liquid playing around the Prophet and playing around the rotations of GH. 2 back-to-back kills. Nice stuff for them.
I think you could just look back in this series, regardless how the result goes, and say Liquid is just playing, to me, a little bit faster, a little bit better over EG. It's not that EG is not executing properly or anything, it's just that Liquid is just one step ahead. That is the difference. They're 5-0, G's 2-3.
Lasso on the bottom lane. They're going to need some follow-up here. Sumail gets off the arrow. Well-timed rotation nets them the kill. Obviously, with Chrono on cooldown, it's probably a better time to die as a Void than when you could be potentially setting up big kill. Nonetheless, a good one. GG. I mean, how are you feeling about the mid-silencer thus far? He got out CS pretty heavily as... Oh, Control getting picked off side of that mid lane. Definitely not dominating his lane. He did have to deal with 2 heroes for a lot of it. This a game where Miracle can take over on the silencer?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not impressed with the way that the silencer has been playing. But the beauty of the silencer mid is that you don't have to be dumpstering the enemy. You could just, you know, part of it is your global, right? Your ultimate. So even if you're not having the earliest impact, you're still effective. You're still helpful to the team. So I guess wait and see is the reply to your question.
Yeah, you wait and see for the Bat Rider to blink in, and then you hopefully global and can turn that fight around. But
right
here comes the ganking party. Miracle gonna get slowed down. No global yet. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
He is gonna global. He interrupts the stomp. He keeps himself alive. The rotation scrambles in. Jidge could cut off 2 here with the Fissure. He only gets 1. Zai just walks idly by him. Well, they'll at least get the Wyvern kill. Miracle, a +2 for him. That's a total of +6, but I keep on looking at this top lane, Lumi, and Arteezy is uncontested, 81 CS. He's not actually the leader in net worth. That title goes to Sumail on the Mirana, but he is still about to take a tier 1 down.
Oh, deny. The Treants.
Hero Treants. Meanwhile, back in the river, Fissure on 2, but now the chase is on. Liquid have overplayed their hand. They've got to back away. There is a Chrono available, but Tumbaman can make something happen, but he needs damage to dump into that Chrono. That is one area where they're lacking, as the Shaman will fall. The amount of AoE and the amount of nuke damage they can lob into a Chrono is very limited.
Arteezy now joins bottom, teleports in, walks away from the smoke, and is looking to set up a bait of some sort here. It's like, hey, I'm by myself. And all of a sudden, Bat Rider shows up. He doesn't have Lasso though, so I'm not sure how much they could do here.
Probably hoping GH overextends. Does seem like EG wants to try and play more aggressively, take more fights as the Savage Roar pushes Matoma away.
GH in the trees by himself. He is isolated. Crit peppering him with that Arctic Burn, and he is going to just get run down.
Nice pick. Well, is it a pick? Is it a pick? Is it a pick?
I mean,
GH still running. Surely he dies here.
Stop. Hey.
They get him.
I think Crit could have, or sorry, Zai could have stopped any time, but he's like trying to get his core to kill. RTZ not doing enough.
So they're using this Lone Druid as their early push tool. Takes the hero on top. Now he's going to rotate bottom, do the same. Very different from game one in that regard, where Liquid had a massive tower advantage. That is not the case here. EG have only lost one, and they have taken with that bottom tower falling too.
Top lane, GH in position here. Arctic Burn cooling down relatively soon here. Can the bird fly away? All right.
Cold Embrace, he's got stick. He could get off a Winter's Curse. He doesn't have a TP.
Okay.
He goes for the creep curse, and then he tries to walk away. GH giving him the punch. Mind Control giving him the auto attack, and down he goes. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, action also breaking out there as Liquid are on the chase. Kuroki's going to fall. Now Zai chasing forward. They've got the numbers advantage here at this point. Miracle's likely to drop as well. That's a extra kill. Zai on the killing spree. Another death for the Silencer.
Yeah.
Still no Midas at 12 minutes. Miracle is not having a great start.
I mean, a large part of that is doing EG's persistence on non-stop ganking mid, right? You know, it's maybe unfair to say whether Silencer is a good pick this game. No hero is a good pick when they send 4 gank parties. But I think the bigger problem is that we're walking into mid-game, RTZ is super fat, and Miracle's got a hero that does not match up well at all against the Spirit Bear. So I am quite concerned for the Silencer.
Is there a point where Liquid's lineup kicks it up a notch? There's something in particular that's really going to change the complexion of the game for them?
I think Liquid, the way that their lineup scales is like pretty linear. It's not like a hero where, like, for example, Spectre picks up Radiance and you're fighting for just spikes, like really heavy, right? I don't think there is any one big item like that for Team Liquid. So like, if they're going to fall behind, they're going to be behind for a while until they can slowly win one team fight, claw yourself back. This is definitely not a good sign for Team Liquid. I like to see them use their Chrono and Global together and get something going, but again, it goes back to the draft. Like, what are you comboing with that Chrono? There's just not really that much.
Yeah, like Nature's Wrath and I don't know. If somehow they're all on the
At
side
the
of the Chrono,
just like, yeah,
Echo Slam, yeah, it's not great. And this ain't great either. This Mind Control will get lassoed and picked off in the top lane. Universe had a pretty rough lane, but they've been able to make effective plays despite that, and despite the fact he only now gets this blink. There was a setup in the mid. Meanwhile, Sumail jumping in into the R-Splitter. And another pickoff. The kills just keep on rolling in for EG. Be too flustered by the potential turnaround of a Global or Chrono. In fact, that Chrono only now cools down.
my man steals a Haste Rune and it's out of there. So I really appreciate another great performance from Zai on the Elder Titan. Like, we're 15 minutes in the game, he's pretty much been in every single kill. Like, I think he's missed 3 kills, and he's just so effective. And this is like, we're not seeing him combining with the rest of the team yet in terms of like the curse into Earthsplitter that you mentioned during the draft. So I think moving forward, this is definitely a hero that teams have to worry about when facing up against EG. Or rather, also Digital Chaos, because Boba invented that hero, so it's going to be playing it too.
And that's a big ally, an X factor in the draft, is if there's a hero like that normally teams wouldn't want to ban or even consider that you have to work with. But we're in the game now, and that's where Universe is going to go down. Liquid, pretty hefty commitment, dropping the Chrono for that. We'll get the kill. But RTZ just really farming bottom all the while. He is not going Radiance, though. Something we used to see more of was that Maelstrom build. Kind of fell by the wayside, but
it was like
bringing it back.
You know, it's normally like a Midas into Radiance or Maelstrom, but no Midas either. GH popping that Shrine. Global comes through. They're going to take a team fight. Echo Slam's going to be there. They will take down the Sumail. Question is, can they take down Crit as well? Crit still tangling up a little bit. Enchant Totem ready to go. And I do believe Crit, with that stun hitting him, he should go down. Meanwhile, on the other half of the team fight, great Earthsplitter coming back in. Mind Control should just get burned down. The wards gets committed. They want Zai, and they will get Zai. But they might lose a
get
little
more. They're still chasing. Actually, Kuroki might die here. He's
Kuro has
roasting
no
in the
mana.
flames. Easy double, fed back the other way. That's costly. EG salvage what looked like a really bad fight.
Yep.
Arteezy is going for that full right-click build now.
Oh, he's going just range build?
Yeah, it looks like.
I say that with a tone of surprise because normally when you see Lone Druid nowadays, it's just all bear, right? Like, it was Midas, Radiance, and you just go into melee form.
It was what, like a 3 to 4 month period where everyone was doing that range, like
Lone Sniper.
Sniper with a bear.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I love that build.
I guess I was just not really paying attention. The fact that he doesn't have boots on his bear should be a telltale sign, right? Like, normally when you see more of the bear build, you definitely invest the boots on him, at the very least.
The sad bear.
Yep.
Not been adorned with a whole lot. Been given an Orb of Venom, a Quelling Blade, and Stout Shield. Arteezy is abusing that poor animal for his own twisted purposes.
I guess if you're looking up against who you're facing against, being just a long-range right-clicker is just good against heroes like Prophet and Void, right? Just the further you stay from those heroes, the better. You still retain on the whole demolish bear pushing, and they will take down yet another tower.
Tower hits the deck, no deny for the tree this time. Burst pushes in. They are trying to split push a little bit with Matumba Man top and Mind Control bottom, but Lumi, they are not the split push lineup that they were last game. Like, they could drop the wards, the Prophet can do a little bit. There's some long cooldown story out there, and
yeah,
certainly just not as good at taking objectives as they.
LD, take me back and talk about kind of range Lone Druid as kind of like a force in the mid and late game. Do you think he's like? I think one of the strengths of the carry Lone Druid is the fact that you had a ridiculous respawn talent back in the day, right? Was it minus 60 second or something crazy like that?
Yeah.
And you don't have that now, so is that like, can you even play that kind of style without that respawn talent?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think to your point, like, how good is the bear actually this game in fights? You've got a lot of control for him, whether it's just sprouting the bear, shackling or hexing it. The like tons of AoE from the Shaker and the Void. So I think in that regard, this is potentially a more like suitable build for the matchup. At this point, everyone on their lineup is effectively a pretty long-range damage dealer as Liquid Smoke and get caught by a Dire Scan. So yeah, I think you made a good point that it suits the matchup, even if it's not like on paper, like, you know, having the same steroids and ability that he did in previous patches.
I mean, at the same time, I think having Radiance against these like relatively squishy int heroes like Shadow Shaman, Silencer is nice. But looks like we're not going to see a Radiance, and we'll see how Arteezy kind of progresses through. It's going to be the Hurricane Pike next. Another good way to get out of things like Sprout and whatnot.
Sad thing is, even if the bear has nothing on it, it's still worth just as much when you feed it, and it's a lot easier to kill without those items, so careful.
So if Wards gets committed, I think they could just clean that up pretty quickly if they want.
Expecting EG's ability to defend towers here.
Tower is going to have to get denied.
They might not be able to.
I mean, that I think was a pretty prime easy deny there, but
yeah, if they both went for the deny, I think they could have had it. I don't know if Sumail alone would have had enough damage.
Sumail, we haven't talked about him too much, but one thing that I do want to mention is that Mirana scaling into mid and late game as a right clicker, pretty amazing. She has one of the highest int gain, sorry, not int gain, agility gain. Out of agility, I think it's actually the second highest agility gain out of all of the agility heroes, sitting at 3.6. As you imagine.
Don't forget about that leap.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you get to 25.
The leap talent, you get the damage talent.
Oh, for the bear
You get the attack speed talent.
Man.
Mirana can be a decent right clicker with the talent, introduction of the talent tree.
Most people have been going for the, hey, I'm going to go for an Axe as a farming item and then back into right click. This is actually the first time for me to see a
straight right click.
Like straight right click. Yeah. And the problem with this build is that it takes a long time to come online because Mirana needs like at least 2 to 3 items to come online, and generally Ags served as an item that made you relevant early as you scale back into a right clicker. But this game, he has Arteezy to be kind of the gap.
EG smoked, wanting to make the move here on Matoma Man. The global came out quickly, and then GH spraying the trap. He catches 2. Now the Chrono follow-up, locking them down. Can they finish the trick? They get the bashes. They get the kills. Global, absolutely massive there. A 2 for 2 thus far. Make it 3 down for EG. And KuroKy once more. He's chased after Sumail, but Sumail got the mount off. The illusions are killing him. Where's the backup? Kuro doesn't have it. A 3 for 3, a bloodbath mid. Even the Radiant Courier serving itself up on a silver platter. EG do keep their big damage dealers alive, though.
Wow.
And they want to push now.
We saw game 1, GH coming in here, preventing the Sumail Chronosphere. That was absolutely huge. This man could see into the future, and he just did right there. And what a turnaround. I do believe Crit made a mistake on the Winter's Curse, as the curse prevented the Mirana from finishing the kill. We're going to watch this team fight one more time, and look at how prepared GH comes in. Bang! Hits a 2-man Chronosphere.
The global was also almost instantaneous, like maybe half a second reaction time there.
And then we're going to see Crit's curse. I think Crit's curse prevented Sumail from right-clicking and killing him there, but was able to actually isolate Mind Control in the backline and kill him in there.
Yeah, good job by Mind Control trying to silence the Wyvern. It was like a split second late, unfortunately, but
Right.
that is his #1 target in these fights, I would say. Maybe the Elder Titan, but he's a lot harder to kill.
Mid lane.
He gets silenced up. Dude, Liquid really want to take a fight with no Echo, with no Chrono, with no Global. This is not a great time to be engaging. They're on the run. EG are going to punish them for this. They get the root follow-up kill coming through on Kuro, the fissure from GH. Quite late here to try and save the team. They will eat away a few freebies, and now EG launching into that Roche pit. They're going to grab an Aegis. And with the power of Leap, I think they get this pretty easily.
Yeah, no Chronosphere like you mentioned, although it's back in 10. Global is still down for 10 more or so. Yeah, they're going to get this Aegis. I gotta say, if you finish day 1 splitting games against all the teams you face against, you're probably not too happy, especially if you're EG, but if they could split the series against Team Liquid, who has been just running truck over everybody,
it
might not be the worst.
You just get 1 point a game, right? It's,
Yeah.
They had one TI where I think you got 3 points for a 2-0, but I don't think they've ever done that again. So, yeah, splitting games is just fun. Mail gonna go. Oh, he picks up a Maelstrom, so double Maelstrom. Manta. Obviously, Mirana gives you a lot of attack speed, so that's a small point of additional synergy with the Leap, that'll also help Arteezy. Combine that with the Rabbit.
Yeah, the Manta, obviously, for the Global, he wants to still have the ability to escape or fire his arrows and whatnot. And this is where, as a agility carry, you're getting to a point where you look, it's Butterfly. I'd be like, can I just take over the game? Or do I need something like a MKB to deal with, mischance and evasions and stuff like that?
Well, there's nothing like that now. So I mean, I just think Butterfly is an incredible value item. It also helps you just farm and move around the map faster with the move speed.
There's also things like, do you see Ghost Scepter from coming out? Then you might want to think about like the Fusel Blade. I don't think anything like that is also coming out. So Butterfly straight up looks like a pretty decent option.
Man, Ghost Scepter used to just be the for value, just like buy it for the stats, and who cares if you even get the active, but fairly forgotten item with the Fusel Blade being as good as it is, and
yeah,
Ghost Scepter itself having been nerfed out over the year. Reminds me of another old one was the classic was the Racer Gaming, Bone 7 Dota. I mean, we were talking about him earlier.
7 Dota.
Oh no, I think with him it was the null tallies. Bracer Gaming was what else? His was the null tally.
Crit?
Profit. But here we go in the mid lane. They're trying to set up a crit. The turnaround comes from Sumail, but now he gets global silence to control the Chrono. They interrupt Sumail as he tries to pounce out. The cat lady has been caged. They kill her once. Can they do it a second time? They try to finish off Zai. They haven't done the job just yet, and now Mind Control's in trouble, dragging him away. Matumba Man chases Sumail, but it's a fool's errand. Now he's in danger. Miracle coming back into the fight, but it's into the waiting arms of Arteezy, who controls him with the bear. They're fighting under the wards, but it's not enough damage. The Earth Splitter cuts them off, deleting the full 5-man squad of Liquid, who now find themselves in danger. Tier 2 about to be mowed down.
Maybe even Tier 3.
4.
Yeah, like you respawn as Void and Silencer, but you don't have your Global or your Chrono. This is definitely going to be a Tier 3, if not more after that. Sumail is going to jump forward for that attack speed for his team. We'll see.
They might go for the full Grax here, Newbee. There is no Chrono available. There is no Echo Slam. There are no wards. There is no global. That is at least half the firepower of Liquid in an actual full-scale engagement. Mirana, Lone Druid, these carries hit just as hard right now, but do EG want to risk it? They are pretty low.
They will respect.
They decide to back away. I almost think they could have forced the issue there, but perhaps not worth the risk.
Yep. So very unfortunate. It was a good chrono. It was just unfortunate in the sense that Sumail had the Aegis. So it was almost like he didn't catch him in the chrono. And the other big problem is that right now EG has two very strong physical damage dealers. And I feel like Liquid is in a situation where the chrono almost has to hit both for them to have a chance to win these team fights. Because if it doesn't, I don't know. It's just too much damage output from EG.
It's very difficult otherwise. I think that's for sure. Mind Control is closing on a Silver Edge. That will be a big help to try and mitigate some of that damage. See, Crit has sprung a little trap for him, planning the Sentry Ward down as he farms. Mind Control is going to go for the ring around here. Crit hides under the Sentry.
That's the Sentry.
Is a likely trap. Silence comes through. Sprout is there, but he's already flying away. Arteezy's in the neighborhood as reinforcements. Dusts upon dust, and the counter dust reigns supreme.
He could have easily used Savage Roar to just save Crit, but like, I'll go get a kill.
They're going to commit for this, though. The Global was used after GH got lassoed. Now the Yule Scepter comes through. They're going to back away. They were smoking to try and reinforce this position, but the Shaker's been overrun. They'll sack him as well. That's 2 down.
That's a global down.
And
just
a global as well.
That's going to be another tier 2. Miracle, they ping him out.
Liquid, all that discipline we saw in game 1, all the cool, calm, and collected Dota, escaping them now, and EG stepping up to the plate in a big, big way. Looking, they might finally be able to take a game off Liquid, who've just been unstoppable so far in the groups.
Yep.
And like you said, it's a very important game for EG. You don't want to go into day 2, 2-4. Day 3 feels manageable. All you have to do is win, a couple of matches, maybe you tie the rest, and you're likely to get through the upper half. But you go in 2-4, and suddenly you have very little margin for error the rest of the way.
And for EG fans out there, this could be arguably the toughest day in terms of the opponent, the quality of opponent that they're facing. I think the rest of the group might be a little bit...
Well, there's LGD, right?
Yeah, LGD is the other tough team, but... I think...
And I mean, I do remember there have been TIs in the past. God, who was it at TI3 or TI4? There was somebody who went 6-0 on day 1.
And just tanked.
Didn't make it to the playoffs,
Yeah.
I want to say. God, was that Liquid? That might have actually.
It sounds like a very old Liquid-esque thing.
I can't remember now. Melody is really kicking in Lumi.
Man, you got that sleeping voice going on as well. Thank goodness this is the last game of the day.
I have energy.
I don't know.
I'm saving it.
saving
for the right play.
Saving strats for the TI main events. You're saving your vocal cords.
I'm saving myself for Dota that is worthy of hype. I've learned from my WoW days.
Man, this is
when I was a young lad.
This is not the LD I casted with.
No more chat wheel.
Like the LD I casted with back in TI3, like vocal core was dead at the finals, and you're like, just
vocal cords were
in.
dead after the group stage. I came to TI2.
Yeah. And you were still going in, There's no saving vocal cords. You just go in.
We don't need more WoWs. The world has enough WoWs.
Or not enough, depending on who you ask.
All right, well, then you can create them.
All right, bring me back to this game, LD. I feel a little lost. The Go Graph says EG 10K lead.
Well, Lumi, it's the year 2017.
Thank you. Keep going.
We are currently at a hotel in the great city of Seattle.
All right.
This is not Bulba's Liquid. Kuro's Liquid.
Explains a lot, actually, now that you say it like that.
And meanwhile, Liquid are 5-0. EG are 2-3, but they're looking to make it 3-3 as a smoke Liquid. For that opening, the Moonlight Shadow quickly activated to ensure their retreat. Miracle sticks around, though. Miracle sticks around,
Curse him.
though. They actually don't see... Oh, they get him with the curse. And there was, to be honest, and now he's in a lot of trouble being pounded. The arrow comes through. Beautiful connection. Of all the heroes to die, that might be the worst, and he's out for a minute.
I think he wanted to force sap down the river, and his hero just kind of turned in the trees. And the result was... it looked pretty questionable, but... What has the silencer done for you, LD? Because it has done jack all for me in this game.
I would agree. There was one good, the global mid where they turned the fight around.
That was more GH. Let's be real
yeah,
for a second.
it was like the combo, but yeah, even then it wasn't just the silencer. It hasn't been all that effective. I do think silencer generally struggles a lot more against heavy physical damage cores, especially ones who aren't super reliant on spells to do damage in fights. I think Mirana and Lone Druid both fall in that category. I also think EG just hits so hard right now that like the timing has to be absolutely pristine to avoid someone just dying. Like you global after the lasso, Sumail or Arteezy might just kill them anyway. So I do think it's a tough silencer game. It's not like there's a storm or something, right? Where like a perfectly timed global before he gets his like counter, like a BKB or something can actually counter him. Just not one of those silencer games.
Well, he's going into a refresher next. Like, do you think the addition of a second global matters a lot? Or at all? It's just like you said, I feel like EG is more or less, I don't want to say like immune to it. They're pretty resistant to a global in the sense that they can still fight pretty hard.
Yeah, I think they go and right click you. Like,
yeah.
I think if Liquid want to take a team fight, it's actually more about the Shaker and the Void.
Yeah,
I think the silencer is just kind of buying them the right time to take that fight. And I go back to your point of they lack damage in the Chrono. Like imagine if they had, say, Alina instead of the silencer, which was available for their last pick. I'm trying to think if there's anything else better. Maybe I think Queen of Pain might have been available at that point.
Sure.
That could have served them well in this stage. But yeah, it does feel like the silencer's falling off as he gets lassoed, trapped. The one hero that you can't afford to lose might just die at the beginning of this fight. He does get off the global. The Chrono comes out from Matumba Man. He saves the time walk. They drop the wards. It's basically the dream scenario for Liquid as nobody dies even through that initiation. They get all their spells off and they still are losing the fight. Mind control on the run. Sumail running him down, gunning after him with the arrows, and the wards get farmed up anyway. Now it's just feeling like the raw numbers are working against Liquid.
Yep. Silver lining here for Team Liquid, despite not having any of their ultimates available right now, their creep waves are pretty decent. So instead of going for the high ground here, EG gonna go for the Roshi instead. They will get it without any challenge. Your point about the Chronosphere not having too much combo, I think very relevant for the first 25-30 minutes, but I think we're getting to a point where if you land a good Chrono, the right clicks are starting to take off, right?
But they could in theory, but he's got a Linkins and a Diffusal Blade, right? Like there's.
I mean, Miracle's hitting pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
Mind control's okay, you know, it's not great, but
he's only got 18 stolen in. Like I've seen support silencers with like 40 at this stage of the game, so.
I mean, my point is, it gets better as the game progresses. Your team's going to pick up more and more damage, so...
Yes. Well, Silencer is an infinitely scaling core. You know, if this game goes 1,000 minutes, Liquid have 100% win rate.
Have you ever seen a 1,000-minute Dota game?
No, but there's a first time for everything.
There you go. I like that spirit.
Just please bring me coffee if it goes that long, Val.
Arrow, not going to clip on Miracle. And Prophet does what Prophet does best. Pressure side lanes and hope that EG goes back for it.
You've been very patient about this. I guess this is one area where, you know, it's nice having the bear because you can siege a little more safely than if you have to commit the hero in, but he does have Aegis. Yep. You have cheese up on Sumail, so certainly all the tools are there. They've both gone for their long-range Hurricane Pikes, and low ground Arteezy getting to work.
Somebody kill that ward, man. That ward is allowing the siege to be happening.
And that's a Jed melee racks.
Yep.
Liquid simply do not want to. Okay, they're going to glyph, but should be it.
Okay, dead bear.
If he ever gets an uphill hit.
Backdoor protection.
A lot of missing here for poor Arteezy, but now the Chrono gets the point. They make the move on Sumail. He's got the cheese. Ooh. He's down for the count. That is a big kill.
And now can it catch any
on
stragglers?
The run. Oh, GH on cleanup duty. Silence comes through. The Sprout's there to give them the vision, but the Spirit lending a bit of an assist as Crit tries to float away. Doesn't look like he'll make it out. Glimmer Cape, ineffective. They give up 2. They did not get the melee. Those uphill misses for Arteezy.
There's no buyback for Sumail. Can they just all go top right now and make something of it?
The tier 2 standing in their way. They don't
top. There's nothing there.
They don't realize he doesn't have buyback. I don't think they go for that.
Well, they're definitely going to go for the tier 2, right? Like that's the ultimate safe option. I guess you're right. Don't have caster vision.
It's not
Sorry,
over
I just
yet.
got a little bit excited. You know, like Liquid is down for so much, and all of a sudden, like a ray of hope. Don't count them
It's
boys
okay,
out
Lumi.
yet.
I know you've got a lot of Liquid cards. Don't lie to me. This is a safe space.
Safe space.
No one can hurt you here.
I actually forgot to do my fantasy.
Oh, really?
I was so tired. I just went to bed.
What's your best card?
I don't have a golden envy, so it doesn't even matter. That's the real reason why I'm not doing the fantasy. Although to be fair, if I had a golden envy, I would have like negative points by the end of today. So who knows?
Liquid are now finally able to venture outside the base. They get Precious Ward down, and immediately Universe kills it. So, oh, it was good while it lasted. Now going for the BOTs. EG are going to try this again. It looks like they still have the Aegis. There is no glyph this time. Butterfly coming soon for Arteezy, who is extremely farmed. Sumail still has the cheese, so, I mean, all they've really lost is a bit of gold. Can they make their move now? Chrono is ready. Global cooling down in 15. Almost enough time.
Echo!
Interruption on Universe, but there's no follow-up. He gets back safely. Didn't even commit the lasso. This could really come back to haunt Liquid. Got the Hex off as well, but G just retreat. They're going to probably wait for this next wave and then try it again. And they did get the melee racks while that was all happening. Objective clear.
That was the one that they came for all along. They both get it. So you know the play that Liquid just made? You jump on Sumail, you chrono him, and you get him killed. I'm not sure if that play is going to remain effective as the game goes on, because Crit is going to be watching out on that. He's going to position himself in a way where he will get off the Embrace. In the draft, we're saying the Embrace might not seem very good at the time, but as we move more and more into this late game scenario, the Embrace is going to get better and better. Might be the game turner, in fact.
Yeah, and Liquid, while they have like okay early to mid-game nuke damage, it's not damage that really scales that well. There's no Lino with Laguna Blade or Invoker who could really dish it out and counter the Embrace hard.
I'm pretty sure Miracle will global though, in conjunction with the Chronosphere, so Crit needs a way to debuff that silence off of himself, and he is working towards a Lotus Orb, but
it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, gonna be a while given, you know, it's a 5-stage support and stuff like that.
38 minutes in, EG still struggling to break this game wide open. It's been about that 10-11k gold lead for some time now. They did get closer to 20, but the spike has halted. Do you, like, walk me through in your mind how Liquid can fully get back in this game? Do you feel like this type of lineup just can take it late? Should they just be trying to farm? Should they be making plays, going aggressive? What's your ideal scenario if you're a Liquid fan right now?
Remember the way I describe how the Liquid lineup kind of scales is that they don't have spikes, but they scale very gradually. And the game has been kind of going long in a point where I think their heroes are scaling to a very dangerous manner for the EG fans. So I think for Liquid, you just drag the game out long. Even though they lost the melee racks, I don't think it's like, oh my god, you lost melee, it's GG. In fact, I think EG needs to do a lot more work.
Like 2 lanes at least.
Yeah, 2 lanes with multiple waves constantly being pushed in, because you have a Prophet on your team as Liquid. You could easily repel this mid lane pressure. So for Liquid, it's about finding the right fights. This whole game has been fighting about finding the right fights. They have been super on point in terms of preventing the bad initiation from coming out. Right, Universe is normally so good on the hero, but this game, every time he comes in, he eats an ankle slam. He has a Hex against him. And those are kind of plays that Liquid needs to do to keep themselves afloat in this game.
On the side of EG, they are getting pretty close to Sumail's level 25 talent here. Leap attack speed feels like it should be huge. He just actually bought a tome. Try and get him there. Pops the tome. 2/3 of the green is off.
I think for EG, it's more about them being able to fight under the global. So even though I said, you know, the global hasn't been doing anything, obviously it's been annoying Crit and Zai in particular very hard. Crit in particular getting off his curse and co-embrace is going to be the game changer. So him getting towards his Lotus Orb is going to be huge.
Mind Control is going to show himself here bottom. He did back off for Ashiva's guard. And they are, meanwhile, trying to set up a Crit. He tries to flap away, gets locked down, controlled, and finished off. Another +2. Miracle rising back. in the ranks, slowly but surely finding these kills, closing in on Assault Cuirass. Like you said, I definitely do not sleep on the late game silencer. This hero hits extremely hard with the farm and with the kills.
In particular, once you get the 200 attack range at 25, it's not, you know, infeasible to start talking about level 25 talents, but he stands back and it's like a cannon every hit. I've seen Arcane Curse also being leveled up, although
especially with the Void and the Shaker, like, you have such good setup to allow a silencer to just sit back and wail away at you. Some games the silencer is constantly running for his life, but I don't necessarily think this will be. A lot of it comes down to Universe if he can somehow catch him, but there's a lot of other heroes to worry about. Universe hasn't really... There was one time where he got the silencer over near mid, you know, up near where the Ancients are. That's been about it.
I know earlier we were kind of talking about EG tying up the series, you know, 1-1, but maybe we spoke too soon. Now, I don't think, you know, Liquid is having a 50-50% chance of winning this game. EG is still advantage, but definitely could see Liquid playing well, winning a fight or two, and coming right back.
Don't forget, they do have the Nature's Prophet. Now, granted, he hasn't really itemized for the
Crit
rat.
again walks into a smoke gang, but this
time he's breaking one, so...
Got
Dodges a bullet. That was another smoke committed by Liquid, and all of this with the Roche about to respawn. They've even got their Serpent Wards ready. They would love to just walk into the pit and steal that Aegis Cheese away. Would be a massive swing of momentum, but not one that EG will away for free.
EG, I don't think they know that Roche is up. Unless it's past the possible Roche respawn timer. But Liquid obviously do know they've sent Treants in time and time again.
They definitely suspect something's up, just judging by the way they're sticking around the pit. Now it's their turn to smoke. They find more success. Remember, we've seen a few ganks from EG where they walk headlong into the global, into the chrono, and here we go. Starting off, Batum Man's there. They follow this up. But do they have the damage to bring Arteezy down? They're trying to focus on this low Germany. BKBs immediately forcing Potoman on his heels. From the side of the fight, Kuroki managed to get a good trap off, finds his own pick. The supports are dropping like flies, but EG's core standing strong. Miracle gets forced away, and now Kuroki turned on. They've got to keep him under control. Sumail just cheesing up, staying alive through it all. Now the silence from Mind Control in the Sprout.
Triple arrow!
And in the Sprout, he will die. 4 down, double buyback available. But they're just so ultimate reliant on this Liquid side. I don't think they can stand against CG in round 2, Lumi.
So Void Chrono Arteezy, but what happened was there was a fissure through the Chrono, so he had to walk out the Chrono, walk around the fissure, and by the time he got around to Arteezy, the Chrono ended, and they just killed him. Arrow stopping in, zoning everybody away. They will take that range racks. They're moving for melee. Buybacks are not being used on Faceless Void, and like you said, even if he did buy back no Chrono,
gonna try to jump Miracle. They've got the lasso available. Again, the Chrono buy, or rather the Void buyback, but nothing really to combo with it. No AoE, no control. Well, they'll get Sumail here trapped up in the Sprout, but the Glimmer Cape keeps him alive. Cold Embrace there as well. Sumail healing right back up to full HP. Still has the leap. He's actually going in. He wants to fight this more than now. The Winter's Curse is committed. Mind Control's been put under by Zai, setting up with the Earth Splitter. This could be a dieback potentially. Mind Control's got to get the hell out of Dodge. Arteezy lunging in with the BKB. Dishing out the damage. Sumail stays alive again. It's Crit to the rescue. No, it's Kuro with the zap. Gives him the taser, but still 3 have fallen. They're dropping like flies here for Liquid and EG. Charging in once this tier 3 tower, but gotta beware. The buybacks try to keep track of how many heroes can even rejoin the fight, and they do know Chrono is cooling down. Nature's Prophet is gonna start ramping up in terms of the damage output. He finds the kill on Zai in the bottom lane.
that wasn't so bad for Liquid. I think
Salvage.
I think Liquid won that team fight, right? They traded buybacks left and right. Mirana, unfortunately, bought back and wasn't able to get the fight. Now, if they get the Aegis, I guess it's still okay for EG out there, but...
So they used 3 buybacks, but EG also used 3.
Right,
so
but they get the Aegis and Cheese, though. That's the big one.
So in theory, that should favor EG in this next fight.
Right, and of course they
but Liquid also have their ults now, which they didn't before.
Liquid went from a position where they lost 4, and I thought they were gonna just lose the game too. It's like, okay, it's not that terrible. Again, Liquid clutching it out in this late game. They need to start de-warding their base though. Like, it's making Batrider's job so much easier to have this vision. And there you go. They still have the gem.
I really feel like they have a damage problem now. Like, the only hero that hits hard is the Silencer, and he doesn't seem able to man fight either the Mirana or the Lone Druid, especially when they pop their BKBs. So
Prophet's getting there. He has the Bloodthorn almost finished. Well, not almost, like maybe 2k away.
And that's essential against Sumail for that true strike for the team. That said Sumail.
Oh, not MKB. Sorry, Bloodthorn. I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when you use the active.
You talk about true strikes. Like, did I say MKB? Because I always say the wrong thing.
You're tripping, Lumi. You're tripping.
You're making me doubt myself.
How am I making you doubt yourself? You're just doubting yourself.
Nah, I never doubt myself. EG. So let's talk about a triple arrow, because it seems really memey, and we already talked about how much of a big factor the leap attack speed for your whole team is. Do you think that the triple arrow is actually good here, or it forces heroes to kind of reposition, and sometimes you just get a straight arrow hit, but the guarantee of the leap bonus.
I thought for sure he was going to go for the leap, to be honest. I guess it's very annoying, like during Chronosphere, like where no matter where you run, there's like a pretty good chance that you're going to get arrowed. It's also a nice scouting tool. It's just spray and pray from Sumail. I guess that's the idea, right? You just keep on spraying and praying, and maybe one of these arrows connects, then you have an opening.
I mean, you're looking at this push, and I guess the attack speed bonus is not necessary, right? Like, a Treasy is just going to hit things.
It's excessive. There's the Bloodthorn that you mentioned. Buybacks are completely lacking. Only Lone Druid has one. That's the one hero that's been caught, but the arrow comes through. Matumba's got to run. Now the BKB from Arteezy on the chase. Diving towards Kuro, who's been silenced. He gets the wards off in a decent position, protecting the racks at least for now. But Sumail, though he has been controlled by mind control, there isn't the damage fall to kill him off. Matumba lunges back in. He might just drop. They can't deal with Sumail. Then they get the silence off. They will bring him down once. The Aegis is there, though. Lone Druid buyback also available if he needs it. So they've extra life. Curse comes through. Matumba's dead. He doesn't have to buy back. Now charging forward his Universe. Arteezy cleans up. 5-man wipe. EG saved the day. Make it 3-3 for them, and a first loss at the International for Liquid. There will be no undefeated boys in blue heading into tomorrow.
Oh man, this game just makes me want to think, why is it not a best of 3? Like, these two teams are so good playing against each other. That last team fight, that curse, he blinked in, used Splinter Blast to break the Lincolns, and then just bam! That was a knockout punch. Great play by Crit.
It was very difficult for Liquid to come back, I think, the way the game developed. I do feel like the Silencer just didn't get what they wanted out of the hero. He didn't shut down either of the cores. I like the way EG itemized going for the early BKBs on both the Manta on the Mirana, the BKB on the Lone Druid, so that they would be able to just consistently dish out damage in fights. And I mean, I think if that was like, say, I don't know, a Storm or an Ember who's super spell reliant, and you get timely globals that shut them down early, it could have been a lot different, but
yeah,
EG adapted well.
I really like the...
Maybe Liquid need to reconsider when they pick the Silencer.
I really love how Arteezy kind of took us back to the times where the baby Arteezy was playing the hard carry. I really felt that this game, he put the team on the shoulder, especially through the first 25 minutes when Sumail, like we pointed out, was slowly ramping up on the Mirana. His contribution, he was able to take down so many towers and win so many team fights for them. So I guess we don't need to say that Artur is a good player, but he definitely, to me, he's
not washed up yet, that's for sure.
Oh no, far from it.
Raise your baby rages if